Good afternoon, Terry. I thank you so much for joining me. Can you please assist me with allowing my people to get to be familiar with you? Can you please state your name and what you do and how we're connected?
Yes, my name is Terry Walser, and I am the owner operator of Trimetro Security Services. And I asked
Mhm.
Jahar for his assistance in purchasing real estate. I frequently like to invest in real estate wherever I lay my hat, so to speak.
Thank you. Yeah, so just so my viewers would know, Terry is pretty much what we call a repeat offender. He has done multiple transactions with me and has looked to do multiple transactions, some close to $1 million, and purchased homes for his children. And so this is a person that not only are we connected, but I lean on heavily regarding other types of advice that I may need. And he's also familiar with real estate, and I hope he can go ahead and get his license so he can hang his license with me, and so we can make some other people first time home buyers, and we want to be able to see if we can help as many families as we possibly can. So I'm putting him to task. So I'm putting it all out there. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and get it squared away. All right. So the next question I have, Terry, is what were your concerns about buying or selling a home?
My major concerns is, timing. Um, when anytime I look to either purchase a home or sell a home, I'm hoping that the timing is right. That it's not a long drawn out process, and that's what I mean by timing.
Mhm.
That it's not long drawn out. If I submit a offer on a purchase, or I put a property on the home, I'm not looking to be 90 days for a closing. I'm looking to maybe 45 days at the max, to
Mhm.
from the time I submit an offer or from the time an offer is submitted to me, in 45 days to have the property closed, and so I can get
Mhm.
on with my life.
Awesome, awesome. And this is a red hot market, and of course, it would behoove anyone if they're going to be making an offer on behalf of their client or receive an offer, they would want to communicate, 30, 35, 40 days, 45 days. 45 days, I would probably say, is the max you would want to, be with submitting an offer if you want your offer considered. Okay, man, my next question, what process did you use to select me to assist you with your real estate transactions?
Well, that was simple. I mean, you made yourself available, and that means a lot to me. That speaks value. No, nothing is more. Should I say? Nothing is more. Nothing is more distracting, or should I say? Nothing is more um, fearful when you have a deal, whether it's you're selling or you're buying. You have that deal, and you can't get in contact with your broker. You know, you
Mm,
know, and I felt that you made yourself available. Whatever time I called you if I had a question, you made yourself available, or you got back to me in a short time, a time frame, and which to help me make a better decision, an informed decision.
gotcha, gotcha. That's important, and I'm glad you mentioned that in terms of being available. Because a lot of times, sometimes people get the contract and, and they just move on with the transaction and just not reaching out to the client and making sure the client is aware of where they are in the process. And that's a practice that I always try to do is just to make sure I let my clients know where they are in the transaction. If they have any questions or concerns, just even reach out to see if they have any questions or concerns to try to make it as comfortable as possible for my clients. Um, what did I do differently with regards to your real estate transaction than any other agent?
Again, it goes back to making yourself available. Um, like
Mm-hmm.
like some realtors, they there's a breakdown in the process. There's a breakdown. If once once the transaction, once the contracts are inked, they don't keep you informed, as to when the closing. It's like it seems like they just disappear, and then next thing you know, they pop back up. Oh, we got closing like tomorrow, and I'm like, that's not good. What happened,
Mm-hmm.
in the process, because I'm quite sure, if I'm selling, I'm quite sure it's a due diligence process. And I want to know what the client, I want to know what the buyer thinks about the property. I want to know every step, because it makes me reassess my next deal, or my next purchase, or my next sale. If, as long as I want to know every step
Mm-hmm.
that the buyer's realtor took towards my property. And if I'm buying it, I want to know every
Mm-hmm.
step that my realtor is doing. I just don't want to be left in
Right.
the dark. I want to know that this is like, I got a checklist. Okay, he did the due diligence. He did,
Mm-hmm.
the buyer did the due diligence. He did this. He did that. I want to know every step of the process. And one thing I'm glad to connect with you about is that during all the purchases or potential purchases, you made us aware about every step of the process. Well, right now, the buyer is fulfilling their due diligence form of, so, and that makes, that lets you know where you stand in the process, instead of being, having, sweaty palms and worrying about if this deal is going to fall through. Like, oh, you know, and nobody wants, I know I don't want sweaty palms, in a deal.
That's
I want
right.
to know either it's going to go through or it's not, or we move on to the next buyer, not to, because, some realtors, they go hide in the corner, and they keep their fingers crossed and hoping that, instead of finding out from,
Mm-hmm.
the broker, from the buying
Mm-hmm.
broker, the buying realtor, uh, that, okay, this is the process, this is where we at. They want to do the due diligence, they want to do this, they want to, do the home inspection. You want to know all of that. You want to be kept in the loop, and not,
Right.
be second guessing. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. All right. Here's the final question. The final question I got for you. Why would you recommend me?
Again, keeping your clients informed, and I think that's, from my perspective, that's the best that any realtor could do. Keeping your client informed at every aspect of the deal. Not leaving your client in a
Mm-hmm.
vacuum, and then, oh, tomorrow's closing. Like, hold up, what happened to all the other stuff? What happened? Did the person that, because that you want to make sure that, you know anytime, I sell a property, I want to make sure that the buyer has no qualms, no nothing, because at the end of the day, the buyer, if he sees another one of the property pop up, or, you know, if the realtor, as like yourself, if they're keeping you in the loop, it's no mystery. I don't ever want to be
That's
in,
right.
in a mystery when it comes to selling a property or buying a property. I want to know every, step that I got to take to secure the property, or whatever, every step I got to take at selling the property. Not being left in a vacuum. And, that's why I chose. That's why I chose Moselle Realty, because I'm never left in a vacuum on either end, on purchasing or selling.
Man, we greatly appreciate that, man. We appreciate your patronage, man. Um, you know what? I have one additional question, and that is and this is kind to something that I added to the tool belt. I recently became a loan officer. How do you think that would add value to you, even if you are a seller? If you put on your seller's hat, how do you think that will benefit you?
Well, because now it's one stop shop. Is if I'm buying a property, if I'm buying a property, or if I'm selling a property, and
Hmm.
you just so happen the property that I have attracts a brand new buyer, somebody that never purchased a home before.
Hmm.
They don't have to go anywhere else. They can get their mortgage, and
That's right.
they can get their pre-qualification, which takes that one extra step, and and it's all tied up in one nice bundle. So it's a one-stop shop. Only thing they have to do is wait for the closing. Get the pre-qualification.
That's right.
It makes me comfortable because I know the realtor, and now I know the mortgage broker. So it makes it easier for me to either sell or buy. So, and like I said, if I'm selling to a new buyer, they can get pre-qualified, and I'll know if they can purchase the property without me wasting a whole bunch of time, you know whether their credit is good or not.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, man, I thank you so much for your time. And we're gonna get back. We're gonna chop it up again. I'm gonna invite you back, and we're gonna break down some other things that we need to break down, and we're gonna go into further detail. But I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much, Terry.
No problem.